The alien station was always filled with noise. Engines hummed. Loudspeakers called out orders in different languages. Traders shouted prices. Guards walked with heavy steps, their weapons shining under the blue lights. But when the human woman walked in, the corridor became strangely quiet. Her name was Mara. She was tall for a human, with short dark hair and sharp eyes. She carried no visible weapon. She wore a plain traveler's outfit, nothing expensive, nothing unusual. Yet the way she moved made every alien stop and look. Most aliens on the station had never seen a human before. To them, Earth was a small, unimportant world. Humans were new to the Council, new to galactic trade, and easy to ignore. Many said humans were weak, slow, and too emotional. But Mara did not look weak. She walked calmly, like she belonged there. She leaned on the wall for a moment, studying the glowing signs written in alien script. A group of tall, insect-like guards stood nearby, watching her. When their antennae twitched in suspicion, Mara smiled. Then, to everyone's surprise, she laughed softly. The sound echoed in the corridor. It was not nervous laughter. It was bold, confident, as if she knew something no one else did. The guards froze, confused. Aliens whispered to each other, trying to guess who this strange woman was. A small creature with 4 eyes pulled on his friend's sleeve. "Why is she laughing?" he asked. "Humans are odd," the friend replied. "They laugh when others would stay silent. They laugh when they should be afraid." Mara ignored the whispers. She began walking again, slow and steady, toward the council chamber at the end of the corridor. Inside the chamber, important talks were about to begin. Representatives from powerful species were arguing over trade routes, border disputes, and the growing threat of war. Humanity had been invited only as observers. The council expected them to stay quiet. But Mara was not here to stay quiet. As she entered the chamber, dozens of alien eyes turned toward her. The hall was grand, with tall pillars made of crystal and a dome of shifting light above. Alien banners floated in the air, showing symbols of power. Mara walked past them all and stopped near the center of the room. She leaned on a wall again, folding her arms. One of the delegates, a scaled creature with golden skin, hissed in annoyance. "Who is this human? Why is she here without permission?" The council guard stepped forward, but Mara only tilted her head, her smile never fading. "I was invited," she said simply. Her voice carried clearly through the hall. The golden-scaled alien narrowed his eyes. "Invited to listen, not to speak." Mara laughed again, softly, and every alien in the chamber grew tense. No one laughed. During council meetings, no one dared. It was a place of rules, of strict silence and formality. Yet here was this human woman, standing with calm confidence, breaking every unspoken law. A delegate from the avian species leaned toward his companion. "She is mocking them," he whispered. "Or she is brave," the other replied. "Maybe both." The council leader, an ancient being with a long silver crown, raised one hand. "Human," he said slowly. "Why do you laugh?" Mara's smile widened. She pushed herself off the wall and walked to the center circle. "Because everyone here is pretending," she answered. "You pretend these talks are fair. You pretend you respect each other, but you don't. You circle around your words, waiting to strike. You call humans weak, but I see fear in your eyes." Gasps filled the chamber. No one spoke to the council. Like that. The golden-scaled alien slammed his clawed hand on the table. "Fear of humans? Your people are children. You build fragile ships. You beg for trade. And yet," Mara interrupted, "you still don't know what we are capable of." Her voice was calm, almost gentle, but the words cut deep. The hall fell into silence. The alien stared at her, some angry, some thoughtful, some suddenly uneasy. Mara folded her hands behind her back and looked up at the dome of shifting light. She did not speak again. She did not need to. The silence stretched longer and longer, until even the loudest delegates shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Somewhere in the shadows, an alien spy recorded everything, sending it back to his masters. The report would say, "The humans are not afraid. They laugh when threatened. They speak when silenced. They may be more dangerous than we thought." As the meeting continued, Mara stood quietly, her presence heavy in the room. She had said only a few words, but they were enough. Enough to plant seeds of doubt. Enough to make powerful species question their plans. Outside the chamber, rumors spread quickly. Traders whispered about the human woman who laughed in the council. Guards spoke of her steady walk and bold eyes. Some said she was reckless. Others said she was fearless. Mara walked the corridor again when the meeting ended. This time, no one blocked her path. The insect guards looked away. The four-eyed creatures bowed slightly as she passed. The air seemed different, heavier, filled with the weight of something new. Mara leaned once more on the wall near the docking bay. She closed her eyes and allowed herself a small smile. The first step was complete. The galaxy had seen a glimpse of what humans were like. Not weak, not submissive, but unpredictable and bold. Above the station, hidden far in orbit, the human fleet waited in silence. Giant warships sat cloaked in the shadows of the stars, their weapons ready, their crews watching. They listened to Mara's voice through hidden channels, and when she laughed again, soft and defiant, the sound carried not only through the station but also through the hearts of every human waiting above. For now, the aliens thought she was only one bold woman. They did not yet understand. Humanity was always full of such people, and soon, the galaxy would learn. After Mara left the council chamber, the aliens could not stop talking about her. The corridors buzzed with whispers. Some shook their heads in disbelief. Others looked at each other with fear in their eyes. She smiled and laughed. At the council, one insectoid delegate muttered, "Humans have no fear," said a tall, feathered alien. "No fear, no respect, it is strange." Mara did not care about the whispers. She walked toward the docking bay, keeping her head high. Every step was confident, every movement purposeful. She was a human, yes, but she carried something else. Knowledge of strategy, the ability to see what others could not, and a calm that unnerved even the strongest alien minds. As she reached the docking bay, she paused to look at the massive ships docked there. Most were alien designs, sharp edges, multiple wings, glowing energy cores. But Mara's attention was on the shadows above. In orbit, hidden from the station's sensors, humans waited. Giant ships, armed and ready, cloaked in stealth fields, her communicator buzzed quietly. It was a secure channel connected to her fleet commander. "Mara," said a calm, familiar voice. "You made your point?" "Yes," she replied softly. "They are afraid, even if they do not admit it. The council is unsettled. The rumors will spread fast. Good. Keep them distracted. We are ready, but we wait for your signal." Mara smiled. Her signal would come soon, but for now, patience was her weapon. She moved through the station, observing everything. The traders, the workers, the soldiers, all were so certain of their power. The aliens had grown arrogant. They believed humans could not survive in their world. They were wrong. A small creature like a round ball with tiny legs ran toward her. Its four eyes blinked nervously. "Human," it whispered. "What you did, you angered the council. They might attack your people." Mara crouched, slightly to meet its gaze. "I know," she said gently, "but they underestimate humans. That is their mistake. We adapt, we survive, and we always find a way." The creature hesitated, then nodded. "You are brave," it said. "I am not brave," Mara replied. "I am careful. Brave is rushing into danger without a plan. I am patient. I wait, and I strike at the right moment." The creature shivered, then scurried away. Mara stood up and looked around. She knew that patience now would save thousands later. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, the whispers continued. Aliens who had once dismissed humans as weak began to question their assumptions. "They are clever," muttered a winged alien. "The human, she is only one, yet she moves like a storm." "Do you think all humans are like her?" asked a golden-scaled delegate, voice tight. "No one knows," said another alien. "But we should not find out the hard way." The gossip spread fast. Soon even traders and workers were talking about the human woman who had laughed in the council. Some whispered that she might be a spy. Others said she carried secrets. Every corner of the station seemed to hum with curiosity and fear. Back in the docking bay, Mara checked her equipment. She was alone here, but she felt no fear. She had trained for this moment for years. She had learned how to move unnoticed, how to strike at the right moment, how to make a small action appear larger than it was. Her eyes scanned the corridor. Nothing seemed unusual, but she knew better than to trust appearances. The aliens might be arrogant, but they were also clever. They would send watchers. They would try to find her weaknesses. She moved toward a small door at the far end of the docking bay. Behind it was a maintenance hatch leading to a restricted area of the station. Only a few high-ranking aliens knew it existed. Mara had memorized the map months ago. She slipped through the hatch quietly. The air was cold and smelled metallic. Pipes ran along the walls, hissing softly. Lights flickered in the distance, creating shadows that danced like living things. Mara stopped to listen. She cooed steps, faint but still. The next day, the station was unusually tense. Word of Mara's defiance had spread like wildfire. Aliens who had once laughed at humans now whispered in fear. Traders paused mid-step, guards doubled their patrols, and even council delegates glanced at the docking bay with suspicion. Mara walked through the corridors with quiet confidence. She could feel the tension in the air, the nervous eyes following her from every corner. It was exactly the effect she wanted. She reached a control hub hidden in a side wing of the station. The console flickered as she accessed encrypted communication channels. Her fleet in orbit responded instantly. Massive human warships floated silently among the stars, cloaked from alien sensors but ready for action. "Commander Mara," a voice said through the secure channel. "Are we proceeding?" "Not yet," Mara replied. "Wait until the right moment. I want them to underestimate us until the very last second. That is when we strike." A shadow moved near the doorway. Mara did not turn. "I know you are there," she said softly. The alien guard froze. "Go back. You are not authorized here." The guard hesitated, then slinked away. Mara smiled. Fear, caution, hesitation, all tools in her hand. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, the delegates were growing restless. They were tired of Mara's bold presence, tired of her laughter echoing in their minds. The golden-scaled alien, still furious from the previous day, slammed his clawed hand on the table. "She challenges us," he hissed. "One human, and we are all uncertain. We must act before she spreads more influence." A winged delegate nodded. "Agreed. We will send a strike team to seize her. No human can survive our soldiers." But the council underestimated Mara. They had not seen her fleet. They did not know the humans could fight in space with precision, intelligence, and unexpected tactics. Mara received the report through her hidden console. She smirked. The aliens were moving too quickly, too arrogantly. This would be their first mistake. At the same moment, she slipped quietly from the station. Through maintenance tunnels and hidden doors, she reached a small observation deck overlooking the main hangar. From there, she could see the alien strike team boarding their ships. They were confident, armed, and ready to crush any human opposition. Mara activated a secure channel to the fleet. "Targeting coordinates locked," she said. "Wait for my signal." The alien strike team's ships lifted from the station. Bright engines glowed under the blue lights. They believed they were acting in confidence, certain of victory. And then Mara gave the signal. Above the station, human warships decloaked. Massive shapes emerged from the shadows of space, their weapons gleaming. Alien sensors detected them too late. Alarms rang in the council chamber. Delegates shouted orders, but confusion had already spread. Mara watched calmly as the first clash began. Human ships moved with precision, weaving through alien fire. Laser blasts met shields, engines roared, and energy beams lit the void. It was the first real battle between humanity and the alien forces, a test of skill, courage, and ingenuity. Inside the station, alarms blared. The council struggled to maintain order. The strike team's ships were under attack before they could reach Mara's location. Their soldiers panicked, unsure of how to respond to humans who fought with both intelligence and adaptability. Mara moved through the station corridors as if nothing had changed. She leaned on the walls, observing the chaos she had orchestrated. Her soft laughter echoed again, carrying a calm that contrasted sharply with the panic around her. One alien soldier caught sight of her and shouted, "She is still here! How can she survive?" Mara smiled. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and never rush blindly into danger. You forget that. In orbit, human ships executed a perfect pincer movement. Alien ships found themselves trapped, unable to maneuver effectively. Humans used unexpected tactics, feints, ambushes, and electronic interference, making every alien calculation fail. Back in the station, the council delegates watched helplessly. Their confidence had shattered. One by one, their orders were ignored as chaos took over the docking bays and control rooms. Mara's plan was unfolding exactly as she had intended. A small group of alien soldiers tried to reach her, moving quickly through the tunnels. Mara anticipated them. She had memorized every corner, every access point, and every shortcut. When the soldiers turned a corner, she was already there, waiting. "Stop," she said quietly. "Turn back. You will not succeed." The soldiers hesitated, unsure what to do. Mara's presence, calm and fearless, unnerved them. They did not know how a single human could stand against trained soldiers and a powerful fleet. Slowly, they retreated. The battle in orbit continued. Human ships pressed the attack, their energy beams striking alien vessels at unexpected angles. Shields collapsed. Engines failed. The aliens had never faced an enemy who could think and adapt so quickly. From her observation deck, Mara watched it all. She knew this was only the beginning. The aliens had underestimated humans once. They would not underestimate them again. The first clash was over almost as quickly as it had begun. Many alien ships had been damaged. Several were destroyed entirely. Mara's fleet remained intact, disciplined, and ready for the next move. Inside the station, the council struggled to regroup. Delegates argued, blamed each other, and tried to understand what had happened. Mara's calm laughter echoed again in their minds. They realized that humans were not just clever, they were unpredictable. They were not just fighters. They were strategists, thinkers, and survivors. Mara stepped away from the observation deck and returned to the main corridor. She moved quietly, blending with the chaos of the station. Workers, guards, and traders all gave her space, unsure of who she really was. She leaned on the wall for a moment, looking out toward the hangar. The battle had proven one thing: humans could fight, humans could win, and humans would never be underestimated again. Her communicator buzzed. The fleet commander's voice came through. "Excellent work, Mara. The first strike is a success, but we are not done. The council will try again. We must be ready." Mara smiled softly. "We are always ready. They will learn soon enough. Every time they think they understand humans, we will surprise them." The aliens had seen only a glimpse of what humans could do. The galaxy would see more soon. And Mara, the human who laughed softly and moved with purpose, would lead the way. For the first time, the galaxy began to fear humans, not for their numbers, but for their cunning, courage, and the impossible strength that came from being underestimated. The galaxy was changing, and the council felt it. For the first time, humans were not the small, weak newcomers. Mara's actions had sent a clear message. Underestimate them at your own risk. The station was in chaos. Alarms still rang from the previous day's attack. Alien technicians scrambled to repair damaged ships. Soldiers argued over who had failed. Delegates blamed each other, their confidence shaken. Mara walked through the corridors with quiet authority. She had done more than survive. She had sown doubt in every mind. Her laughter, soft and calm, echoed in empty halls, a reminder that humans were unpredictable. She paused near the docking bay, watching alien repair teams struggle. Some looked up at her, fear and respect in their eyes. They whispered as she passed, "The human. She is not just clever. She is dangerous." "Watch her closely," another said. "She may strike again at any moment." But Mara did not need to strike. For now, observation was enough. Every movement the aliens made revealed their patterns, their weaknesses. She memorized them all. Above the station, human ships held position in orbit. Cloaked and silent, they waited for her command. Mara tapped into the communication channel. "The council is fractured," she said. "They argue among themselves. Some want to retaliate immediately. Others fear humans too much. We wait for their next move." Her fleet commander responded, "Understood. We maintain position. Your call." Meanwhile, the aliens were not idle. A secret faction within the council had already begun planning a counterattack. They wanted to remove Mara first, to prevent her from influencing anyone else. A small strike team was selected, elite soldiers with specialized equipment. Mara learned of this through her spies and hidden sensors. She smiled softly. They were moving too fast, driven by anger and fear. That was their mistake. Patience would always give humans the advantage. She moved through the maintenance tunnels again, familiar paths guiding her. Her steps were silent, almost invisible. She reached a small control room where she could watch the main hangar and nearby corridors. Screens displayed every movement of the Council's forces. The alien strike team entered the station from an unguarded docking bay, unaware that humans were ready. Mara studied them carefully. Their confidence was high. They believed experience alone would make them victorious. "Not today," she whispered. With a few quick commands, she triggered automated systems she had secretly connected to. Doors slammed shut behind the alien soldiers, isolating them. Alarms blared, lights flashed, and panic spread quickly. The soldiers realized too late that they were trapped. Mara appeared from the shadows, calm and unhurried. Her presence alone was enough to unbalance them. "Turn back," she said quietly. "You cannot reach me." Some froze, unsure of what to do. Others tried to fight, but Mara had studied their tactics. She moved with precision, using every corner, shadow, and shortcut to stay ahead. In moments, the strike team was disoriented and SK. The galaxy watched, uneasy. The Council had never faced an enemy like humans. Mara had shown them that a single human could change the course of events. Now, it was time for humans to turn the tide completely. The station was still tense. Repairs were ongoing, but the Council delegates were restless. They debated in sharp tones, arguing about what to do next. Some wanted immediate retaliation. Others, still shaken by the previous encounters, urged caution. Mara moved quietly through the corridors, observing everything. She had spent days memorizing the station's layout, tracking alien patrols, and noting weaknesses in their security. Every movement the aliens made gave her more information. Every hesitation became an advantage. She paused near a docking bay, watching as a group of alien engineers hurried to repair damaged ships. Their movements were frantic, disorganized. They did not expect humans to strike again so soon. Mara smiled, softly. Fear had become their companion, even if they refused to admit it. Through her hidden console, she communicated with the human fleet above. "We are ready," she said. "Initiate the next phase." The fleet commander responded quickly. "Understood. Awaiting final confirmation." Mara tapped the console. "Now." Immediately, human ships in orbit launched coordinated strikes. They moved with precision, cutting off alien escape routes, disabling weapon systems and targeting command centers. Alien ships tried to regroup, but the humans had anticipated every move. Every retreat, every counter had already been accounted for. Inside the station, the council was in chaos. Alarms blared, lights flashed, and panic spread like wildfire. Delegates shouted orders, but their soldiers were too few, too slow, and too disoriented to respond effectively. Mara moved through the chaos calmly. She had prepared small squads of human operatives disguised as workers and traders. These operatives sabotaged critical systems, opened doors to trap enemy soldiers, and created confusion in the corridors. One group of alien soldiers tried to approach her directly. Mara anticipated them perfectly. She led them on a chase through narrow tunnels where their numbers became a disadvantage. Each turn, each corridor had been planned. The soldiers found themselves trapped, confused, and finally forced to surrender. Above the station, human ships continued their precise attacks. They did not destroy indiscriminately. Each strike was measured, disabling enemy capabilities while avoiding unnecessary loss of life. The aliens began to realize that humans fought not only with strength, but with intelligence, strategy, and care. The turning point was clear. Humans were no longer reacting to alien actions. Humans were controlling the battlefield. Back in the station, Mara reached the council chamber. The delegates had barricaded themselves inside, hoping to protect what remained of their authority. Mara leaned on the wall outside, her presence calm and confident. She spoke softly, but her words carried across the hall. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. We are not weak. We are not naive. We are capable, adaptable, and intelligent. Your plans have failed because you thought only in strength. We think in strategy. The council leader, An Ni Teo, ancient being with a silver crown, rose to respond. Human, you dare speak to us like this? Mara smiled. I do not dare. I simply state what is true. You see only what you wish. We see what is possible. That is the difference. The delegates whispered among themselves, some angry, others fearful. They realized their arrogance had blinded them. For years they had dismissed humans. For years they had thought humans could be controlled. Now the truth was clear. Humans were unstoppable when underestimated. Meanwhile, the human fleet above executed the final phase of Mara's plan. They isolated the remaining alien ships, forcing them into surrender or retreat. The galaxy had never seen humans fight like this. Precise, adaptive, relentless, yet careful. Mara watched from the station as alien ships began to retreat. The council delegates could do nothing. Their own forces had been outmaneuvered, outthought, and humbled. She allowed herself a soft laugh, calm and quiet, echoing through the corridors. It was not a laugh of mockery. It was a laugh of confidence, a reminder that humans were in control. Aliens in the corridors whispered fearfully. She predicted everything. How? They are not weak. They are different. We cannot fight them the same way we fight others. Mara moved through the station, observing the aftermath. Workers and traders peeked from corners, amazed that humans had turned the situation around so completely. Guards who had been arrogant before now hesitated to act. Humans were no longer the ones being underestimated. They had become the ones in control. Through her communicator, Mara spoke to her fleet one last time for the operation. The council is isolated. Their forces are fractured. Stand down but maintain position. Let them understand the cost of underestimating humans. The fleet commander responded, impressed. Acknowledged. Humanity has made its mark. Mara leaned again on a wall near the hangar, allowing herself a moment of reflection. The first real phase of the battle was over. The humans had not only survived, they had dominated. They had turned the tide. The aliens had learned a lesson that day. Humans were clever, adaptable, and fearless when faced with adversity. They did not rely only on numbers or weapons. They relied on thought, planning, and the ability to see what others could not. Mara's laughter echoed softly once more. It was a sound that would haunt the council, a symbol of human ingenuity and courage. The galaxy had begun to see humans in a new light, not as weak newcomers but as a force capable of reshaping the stars, and Mara, standing quietly amidst the chaos, knew that this was only the beginning. Humans had proven their worth and the galaxy would never forget it. The turning point had arrived. The humans had shown that intelligence, courage, and strategy could overcome arrogance, fear, and numbers. The galaxy had learned that humans were not to be underestimated. For Mara and her fleet, the war was far from over, but the first victory had been claimed. And it was a victory that would echo across the stars, a reminder that humans, patient and clever, could achieve the impossible. The council, the soldiers, the traitors, all had learned the same truth. When humans acted, the galaxy changed. The galaxy was quiet, but it was a quiet filled with tension. The council delegates, who had once dismissed humanity as weak, were now humbled. Mara had changed everything. The humans had survived, adapted, and dominated, not through sheer force, but through intelligence, courage, and strategy. Mara walked through the corridors of the station for the final time. Her presence was calm, controlled, yet every alien she passed felt the weight of her influence. Workers peered from corners. Guards hesitated before acting. Traitors whispered among themselves, still in awe. The council chamber was empty. The delegates had retreated to their private quarters, trying to understand what had happened. They argued, debated, and reflected on their failures. Mara's soft laughter echoed in their memories, a symbol of defiance that they could neither erase nor ignore. Mara paused near the central hall. The walls were scorched from previous skirmishes. Ships were damaged, corridors disrupted. But none of this mattered. Humans had proven their strength. Humans had shown that even in the shadows of the galaxy, they could shine. Her communicator buzzed. The fleet commander's voice came through, calm but filled with admiration. The operation is complete. The council has no choice but to acknowledge the humans' power. You have done more than survive, Mara. You have made history. Mara smiled softly. We did not just survive, she said. We changed the way the galaxy sees humans. That is the real victory. Above the station, human warships moved silently among the stars. Their weapons were still ready, their systems intact. But for now, there was no need for further battle. The lesson had been delivered. The galaxy had begun to understand that humans were not to be underestimated. Back in the station, Mara walked through the corridors, observing the reactions of the aliens. Some looked fearful, others looked impressed. A few dared to nod in respect as she passed. That respect was quiet, subtle, but it was growing. Humans had earned it. The council would rebuild, of course. They would repair their ships and reorganize their fleets, but they would always remember that humans could think, adapt, and overcome. Mara had ensured that humanity's legacy would remain long after this single station battle. Mara's steps brought her to the observation deck. From here, she could see the human fleet waiting above. Giant ships floated silently among the stars, cloaked from alien sensors. Every crew member had played a role. Every ship had contributed to the turning of the tide. Through her communicator, Mara addressed them one final time. You have done well. Humanity is no longer a small voice in the galaxy. We are a force to be respected. Remember this day. Remember what we can achieve when we act together, with patience and intelligence. The fleet responded with a chorus of acknowledgement. They had learned much from Mara's leadership, from the careful planning, the soft laughter, and the bold actions. They had witnessed humans turning the impossible into reality. In the corridors below, alien whispers continued. Traitors, guards, and delegates alike spoke in hushed tones. The humans, they are different. They are clever. They are patient. They are dangerous. They will not be ignored again. Mara allowed herself a small moment of reflection. She leaned once more on the wall near the hangar, her soft lair,